10 retro video games you can play with your girlfriend, coming up. The holiday season is coming, so I thought to myself, well, there are a couple of video games that I want to play with my girlfriend. I want to introduce them to her, but she doesn't like everything. And for example, I introduced her to some shooters, etc. Things like Biohazard Battle or some games like Comic Zone, for example, for the Mega Drive. That's a brawler. No, not on this list. I selected a couple of games that I think are really suited to play together with your girlfriend during the holidays. I looked out for the more cartoony, cutesy style games that are could be really appealing to women. I start with some classics that are somewhat more modern, and then I go down to the 16-bit and the 8-bit era. The first game on my list was released for the PlayStation 3. I am talking about Rayman. Rayman, of course, has a really broad and long history, also back down to the Saturn era. But I think the somewhat more modern games are a little bit more fluent than Rayman 3D, etc. Rayman Legends, and there was also Rayman Origins. Those two games, and I think there is even a release for the PlayStation 4, really good suited to play with your girlfriend. These two Rayman games, Rayman Legends and Rayman Origins, are typical platformer games. I have to say that in the middle of the game, not the easiest level, but in the middle of the game, those levels are the most fun. They ramp up eventually, and those levels are getting really quickly, really hard, and I don't think that's really suited, but the levels in between, and there are a lot of those in these games, are really fun to play. Not a platformer game, but a puzzle game would do it also very well during the holidays. When we are going to the Dreamcast, I have here a very easy obtainable game, and that is Chu Chu Rocket. Chu Chu Rocket is a puzzle game, and it's even possible to play online, I believe. A very famous game for the Dreamcast. I picked it up for a couple of euros years ago, and I still like to play it once in a while. Also on the Dreamcast is a cartoon, and there are some releases, I believe, also for the PlayStation 1 of Quack Attack. It's a 3D platformer, not as fluid maybe as a platformer game, but because of the cartoon graphics, it's really appealing to women also. When we step into our time machine, I'll go back to the Saturn, and there's one game on the Saturn that is really easy obtainable, and that is Bug. Bug is a 3D platformer, and I have to say it's not the easiest, but the humor in the game and the way it plays, it's a really fun game. Just try it. One step back in time is the 16-bit and the 8-bit era, and there are much games produced in that era that have that cartoony, cutesy style feel. And yeah, I'll start off with maybe really obvious, but I think a really good choice is Sonic. Sonic CD is a possibility, but also Sonic for the Master System, or Sonic and Knuckles. I have to say, I think if your girlfriend is not experienced in games, maybe Sonic 1 is a good choice, because that game is not too hard. On the 16-bit platform, there were also a couple of puzzle games, and one of the most famous and really easy obtainable game is Lemmings. Lemmings is a puzzle game, and you have to guide your lemmings towards the exit. And how do you do that? Well, there are a couple of lemmings that have really special abilities. At least you appoint those special abilities to those lemmings. For example, building a bridge, having a umbrella so they don't fall in a deep gap. But there are explosions, for example. There are a lot more special abilities out there. Guide the lemmings as much as possible to the exit. When I take a look at what my girlfriend likes, she is totally fan of Ristar. Ristar is not a super easy obtainable game, but if you like, there is the Classics edition out there with Ristar on it. The Mega Drive Classics for the Xbox and the PlayStation. Ristar is a really colorful platformer game with really good music and a really unique way of playing. Well, what I think is a really easy game, and that is what is really appealing to play together, is World of Illusion. Because the game is so easy, you can play it through together in an hour or so. And what I like the most is that you can play co-op. And if you play in the one-player mode, you have some levels. But when you play in a two-player co-op mode, you have other levels and other puzzles you have to solve. For example, Donald is too big to fit to a hole, and Mickey has to pull him out of that hole. It's funny, the music is great, it's colorful. One of the better games. I don't like it because it's too easy, but furthermore the game is superb. Then I'll take a step back to the 8-bit days. My first suggestion is A Land of Illusion. The game isn't too difficult. There isn't much going on, like for example in some shooters the case. Land of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. You have to solve some puzzles, you have to go back, for example, to get a flute, and the game is easy. And taking turns with a Land of Illusion can be a lot of fun. If you think, well, there's Castle of Illusion, that game reminds me of that. Yeah, that's true. This is the follow-up of Castle of Illusion. Castle of Illusion is also a really, really good choice. If you're thinking about Castle of Illusion for the Mega Drive, yeah, that could be, but I like Castle of Illusion for the Master System better and World of Illusion for the Master System.
If you want to play a good game on your Master System with your girlfriend, play Asterix or Asterix and the Secret Mission. These are one of the best games on the platform. The screenshots you see here are from Asterix and the Secret Mission. The game supports a two-player mode. One player plays as Asterix and the other as Obelix. You take turns. The levels of both characters are somewhat the same, but Asterix can reach places Obelix can't, and vice versa. You can even play as Idefix. What do you want more in your life? If you're not sold to these two Asterix games, look at the screenshots.
The next game I played the hell out of in the last couple of days, that is the Smurfs for the NES. I don't know why this game clicks so good with me. It isn't the easiest game, but the graphics are fun, the music is fun, it's colorful, it's cartoony style. I really like the game. Taking turns is necessary to play this game in co-op, and maybe you can help her get past through the swamps, because the third act in this game is really difficult, and after that it's difficult, but not as difficult as those swamps. On top of my head, some really fun alternatives for the NES, for example, is of course Mario. You can't go wrong with Mario, but Mario maybe on the difficult side. But what about Kirby, for example? Kirby is a really cartoony, really fun game for also little children, but in this case, your girlfriend. If you have suggestions for games to play with your girlfriend and the cutesy style games, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I can do another video about it. I hope you liked the video and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.